It is I, John Reagan, the uncommon voice for the common man, coming to you today live from Shady Side, Ohio, where right across the river there is this big deposit of shale known as the Marcellus Shale Reserves. The people in the state of West Virginia, Democrats, good Democrats, the kind of Democrats that we need a lot more of, and a lot less of the Democrats like Obama and Pelosi, the extreme left-wing Democrats. But the good Democrats, the moderate Democrats, run things in the state of West Virginia, and they understand exactly what it is that Marcellus Shale produces for the state of West Virginia. And you know what that is? That is known as revenue, tax money. Tax money from Chesapeake Energy that is drilling right now, even as we speak, to get that energy. And they pay a lot of money to the state of West Virginia for the rights to get that in the form of taxes. Now, with that being said, today's Thursday tirade is directed right at the President of the United States. I am sick and tired of hearing this utter nonsense about the price of gasoline. As we all know, the price of gasoline is rising tremendously, and it's all his and his party's fault. The extreme left wing of his party runs things, and they are beholden to the environmentalist lobby, the Sierra Club, Greenpeace, you name it, they get money from them. They do their bidding. This president of ours is the most environmentally dangerous wacko that we have ever had. Today, this moron actually had this to say to a television station in Detroit, Michigan, about what we need to do to solve this problem with gas rapidly approaching $5 a gallon. This is what this clown said. Quote, "We are in a lot of conversations with major oil producers like Saudi Arabia to let them know that it's not going to be good for them if our economy is hobbled because of high oil prices." End quote. That's what this guy told them. Now, you remember a few weeks ago, His Mightiness went on one of his endless vacations, and he went down to Brazil. And he gave the Brazilian government $1 billion of our money and told them to start drilling for oil. And then he told them if they do that, they will have a quote-unquote, a very good customer in the United States of America, end quote. Now, 2 weeks later, he comes up here and gives us a big speech about cutting our dependence on foreign oil. He says he wants to cut it by 30% in 10 years or something to that effect. But he, of course, says to us we need to do something about ending our dependence on foreign oil, and he gives the Brazilians $1 billion of our money to drill for oil. And you just heard what he said to Saudi Arabia. And it's just absolute, utter nonsense. And it's him and the Democratic Party's fault for their short-sightedness. Now, I'll point this out too. Remember, after the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, he put a moratorium on drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. That moratorium is still in place. We're not drilling for oil in the Gulf of Mexico. Hell, the Chinese are, the Cubans, the Venezuelans, but not us. We're not allowed to. We got oil all over the place if we wanted to do it, and we just won't because Obama won't drill for oil anywhere. And don't let anybody tell you any difference. Anytime that you hear him say that they're doing everything they can to increase domestic production is a damn lie. I actually think he would like to see gas at $5 a gallon because it would force us to drive less, which would save the planet, and of course go out out and buy his government motors funded Volt car. Don't you understand? This man is a Marxist, and he is using environmental policy and the price of gas to shape our behavior the way he wants it to be. You could end something about $5 a gallon gas of oil tomorrow if you wanted to. And I'm going to tell you how it was done. If you will remember, when George Bush was president, he actually lifted the executive moratorium on offshore drilling. He lifted it. He took it off. And all of a sudden, it was okay to start drilling for oil off the coast of the United States. And what happened? The very next day, the price of a barrel of crude fell because the speculators figured out that it might just be true that there is an American president that is actually serious about doing something for domestic oil production. It fell overnight, the price of a barrel of crude, and 2 days later, the price at the pump fell as well. It's because all these damn ragheads in OPEC realized that there might be an American president that is actually serious about ending our dependence on foreign oil by increasing domestic production. And them damn ragheads were horrified of it. And what did they do? They increased their output. And when they increased their output, it drove the prices down so they could keep us addicted to their oil. And that's exactly what happened. Now, if you consider the fact that the price of a barrel of crude fell when an American president said we might drill for oil, can you only imagine what would happen if we actually did drill for oil? That's why John McCain was dead on right with his energy policy. His energy policy was to drill for oil, increase domestic production, build a bridge to the new technology. But not this left-wing idiot we got now who's basically saying, I know more than you do, and we're not going to drill for oil, and you're going to pay $5 a gallon for gas and like it. Until next time, this is your favorite Islamo homophobiac saying this to you now. The next time you hear these words, drill, baby, drill, don't let Obama and his damn left-wing wackos tell you that we can't do anything about the price of oil, because we can. Until next time, over and out.